Stop. Get down. I'm doing something. Hi everyone. Happy New Year. I figured today I'll film in front of my tree because he'll be going bye-bye soon. I figured I'd start this year off with a Q&A. I have a couple of questions I'd like to answer. I'm still saving the pricing your artwork one. Not really saving it. I am trying to edit and, put it together because I went on a big ramble that makes no sense, so I kind of got to put it together so it does make sense for you. So in the meantime, I will answer these two questions. The first question comes from Emma VR on Facebook. What is your favorite model you've ever painted? I'm going to answer this question in two ways. The model that I loved painting, as in I loved the sculpt and I loved the canvas of that sculpt and it's fun to paint. And the other way I'm going to answer is model that I like to paint that I loved the way it came out. I'd have to say for the first way is Lily by Jasmine Ruhland. I hope I pronounced that right. I believe she's from Germany. For some reason, I don't know, I just really love painting this mold. I painted one, I traded paintwork and got another one. I love the texture, I love how leggy she is, and I don't know, I just really love this model for some reason. And it's a lot of fun painting it. A lot of people don't like this texture because it's kind of tough to get an even color going, especially with pasteling or with pigments. I don't know, I have a lot of fun painting this one. There's still plenty that I haven't painted yet, so I'm sure there are more fun ones out there for me too. But the one that sticks out in my mind is this little gal right here. She's really cute. Also, for some reason I just always had a soft spot for this little slice. I don't know why I can't pronounce that right now. Slice. Sounds weird. Just cute. I don't know. I had painted one once before and I just had to get another one. He just comes out really cute. He's fun to paint. Yeah, he's fun too. He may not be the most correct thing in the world, but, with a little editing, and he's cute. As far as my favorite model that I painted overall, how it came out and the model itself, would have to be Willem and Josine Vingerling. I'm probably pronouncing all these names terribly. I love how he came out. First of all, he has the most sweetest face that was just so fun to bring to life. I'd have to say the hat does have some of my best paintwork on it. The mane and the feathering that I did on him, I don't know how I did it. It came to life. It's probably some of the best hair detail that I've ever done. His body color came out so well. It's one of those that surprised me. He was definitely a lot of fun, and I'm very proud of that piece. I mean, I have a lot of favorites, so it's really hard to decide. Another one that kind of sticks out to me too is the little micro Appaloosa I did of one of Maggie's monthly micros. Another one that just kind of came to life, where it was just I surprised myself with it. It was the first time I did a varnish from me Appaloosa type thing, and I wasn't sure how I was going about it, but it came out so awesome, and I'm really proud of that one too. So yeah, those are the ones that really stick out to me. I'm sure if I start picking through, I'll be like, well, no, wait, this one. No, wait, this one. Wait, this one. But that would just take me all day. Like I said, I have so many favorites, but yeah, those stick out to me. The next question comes via email from Lorena. I love to paint model horses for a few months now, and I just want to ask you, how did you build so much knowledge? Is it all about finding tips on the internet? Like which colors, spray, lac, oh I guess that means lacquer, is the best to use for model horses, and all these questions? Where did you get that information, or how did you teach yourself? Well, yeah, the internet. Learn from a lot of other artists. As far as the model horses go, I went to school for art. I graduated School of Visual Arts in Manhattan. My major was traditional animation, so I've been doing art my whole life. I mean, I've been drawing since I was 2 years old. I still have some of my drawings from then, like Mickey Mouse, on yellow lined paper. I can vividly see it. I even have a puppet I did. Oh, where's my puppet? I have to go get the puppet. Look at the puppet! I don't know how old I was when I did this. I'm surprised my mom didn't write the date on the back. She usually does that for everything. But there's my little Mickey Mouse puppet from when I was little. It's about to fall apart. Yeah. We all start somewhere, right? I'm gonna go put him back now before he breaks. Okay, so anyway. Yeah, so I've been doing art for a very long time. you're not just going to start and be good at it. Most of the time you can't just start doing art and be like the best there is at it. I mean, there are some people who have a natural talent for it and do just take off with it. It takes a lot of years of learning and doing in order to build up your talent and your skill. What the heck was that? I dropped a pen. Any chance I got, I took some sort of art class. I took art lessons when I was younger. I went with a couple of friends. We carpooled outside of school, and you know, in high school I took all the art courses I could to make sure I built up, you know, what I wanted to do, and that's what I wanted to do in life. I always wanted to be an artist, so I would continue to study that. So that's a good start, school. And ask questions. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Questions, number one, are very important. Don't be afraid to sound silly. Most of the time, people are very willing to help, and they love to help. I do. I love answering any questions that people have to, you know, help them on their road, because a lot of people help me on mine. So just don't be afraid of sounding silly when you ask a question that might be obvious to others. You know, it's not obvious to everyone, and a lot of people are also watching and learning from you asking these questions. Critiques. Get critiques. I know some people don't like getting critiques of their work, but it is the only way to really improve your art and see what other people are looking for. Take them with a grain of salt. Constructive criticism is very valuable. Not everyone's going to like your work, and not all the critiques are going to be right. But you do need critiques, because there may be things that you don't see that other people with more experience see and will point out to you. Don't get defensive. A critique is not something to defend yourself over. I mean, in a way you can for certain things, to kind of just have a discussion of something that, you know, someone's bringing to the table as to, you know, why you did it that way, or why you think it should be this way and not the way that they're saying. It's just a discussion. It's not, it doesn't mean that they're right. It doesn't mean that you're right. You have to take them for the info that they give you, and you decide what you want to apply to that piece. But constructive criticism. If someone just comes on and says, it looks terrible, or I don't like it, that's not a critique. A critique is something where they will give you constructive criticism as to why it's off, or why it doesn't look good, or why it's not what you think it is. And if they can't figure out why, they'll at least say that, and say the general reason why. Like, something looks off, I think it might be over here. So then at least that's constructive enough to say, hey, look at this section, because something's not right. You know, that's not the same as just saying, it looks off. What am I supposed to do with that? That's not a constructive criticism. Those, you just keep on going. Don't take anything personally. You asked for help. People are trying to help you. There are some critiques that are very harsh, but it's not to bring you down, it's to actually help you and bring you up eventually. So you have to realize that. In college, we had classes specifically for critiques. We would have a day of critiquing, and let me tell you, some things were just like, they would dig in. But without that, you can't improve, because you don't know. If you keep going with what you know and not improve your knowledge and not expand your knowledge, you're not going to get anywhere. It's not about changing your style. It's not about changing who you are as an artist. It's about fixing certain things that are part of the process, are part of the technique that you're doing. It's all about mastering your technique. It's tough, but, you know, put your work out there and ask for critiques. Now, ask for critiques from people who you don't necessarily know, but can trust, in a way. Like, you know, getting critiques from siblings or parents, or, you know, best friends. They're always going to say, oh, it's great. Or, you know, getting someone from someone who doesn't know about art, that's not going to help you, because it's just going to be, you know, a confidence booster, which is great sometimes. That's fine. But don't take that as your only critiques. Get it from someone who knows what they're doing. Get it from someone who's more experienced than you, to see what they think, to see how you can improve your work. You need a thick skin to take some critiques, and it's very, very, very important. That aside, the way I expand my knowledge and learn is the internet. I do go on the internet a lot, and I, you know, look at Facebook groups, forums, and even beginner forums, because sometimes I learn things from beginners that I didn't know. You know, like they're trying new techniques and stuff that is like, hey, that sounds interesting. I want to try that. You know, so it's like, you're also learning from other people's questions in these groups. Some, you know, some things you may not even think about. and, you know, scroll through these forums, scroll through these, you know, Facebook groups, and you'll get a really big knowledge base on, you know, what to use, what materials work best, and then even better, ask questions. Like I said before, ask questions in these groups and these forums. I spent probably months reading forums and asking questions about how you do models and what should I use, what should I order, does this look good, does this, you know, does this sound right, and before I even started my first one. So knowledge is very important, and yeah, I do. I learn from other people, I learn from other artists, I learn from other buyers, like what they like to see, what their things, you know, what they prefer. Knowledge is power, you know, and there's definitely validity in that statement. So learn as much as you can and soak it all up. I mean, you know, read and read and read. It's not, you know, not necessarily books and things like that, although there are some really good genetics books and stuff about learning about patterns and colors, which is a good side thing, but I don't learn very well like that. I'm more a visual learner, so YouTube is another great resource. Watch a lot of YouTube videos, do a lot of searching. Look at a lot of horse photos. The more you see and the more you start recognizing the patterns of how these things look and how they work, the more it's going to start coming second nature to you. And just keep doing it. That's also very important. The more you do it and the more you make mistakes, the more you learn. If you're not making mistakes, you're not learning. If you don't do it, you're never going to know and you're never going to learn. So don't be afraid to make mistakes. That's how we learn. Don't be afraid to jump in. Don't be afraid to try new things, try new supplies. You know, if something doesn't come out great, so what? Put it aside, move on. Your next piece will be even better. So just keep going, keep learning, and keep doing. But yeah, internet, that's pretty much it. And take a look around your area to see if there are any inexpensive art courses you can take, like at the library or your town center. Like sometimes I get these little magazines in the mail that have, you know, like beadwork or acrylic painting, and you know, they're fairly inexpensive, but it's another way to go learn and then go try. And it doesn't have to be painting model horses for you to learn techniques and stuff. You can apply different techniques to your work as well. Even Michael's and Joanne's, you know, craft stores, they sometimes have little classes that you can take. I watch a lot of acrylic artists, I watch a lot of colored pencil artists, drawing artists. They all bring something to the table and we all can learn from each other. Some courses can be very expensive. If you can afford that, great, do them, because they are very much worth it. Just keep, you know, keep your knowledge base expanding and keep your technique expanding, and, you know, just try different things. It doesn't have to be all about model horses. Broaden your, you know, talent level, because then you can all bring it back to your model horses and take what you learned in certain areas of things and put it back onto your pieces. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I want to thank everyone again for their support in 2016. New year, new adventures. Have a few different things for 2017. I think I'm going to be restructuring my business a little bit. 2016 got a little out of hand because of my stupidity. So I'm gonna get back to work, and let me know what you'd like to see. Ask me your questions, I will answer them. I'm easy to contact. If you look below in the description, you will also see all the ways you can find me. And let me know what you want to see. Love to answer your questions, but I need questions to answer. So I will see you next time. Thanks for watching.